Greetings, valiant Helldivers, and welcome to the Liberty. I'm your host, Vanguard. Let's get straight to business, as the enemies of managed democracy never rest. Galactic War Recap. It's day 398 of the Galactic War, and 22,200 Helldivers are currently deployed in the field. Approximately 9,100 Helldivers, some 41% of our forces, are stationed on Vog-Sayoth. Just under 4,000, about 18% of our forces, are on Darius II. And around 2,300, some 10% of our forces, are on Propus. Over 7,800 Helldivers, 35.2% of our forces, are on the Bug front. Just over 11,000, 49.7% of our forces, are on the Bot front. And finally, a little over 2,300 Helldivers, about 10.5% of our forces, are on the Squid front. There's about 32 hours left of the current major order. Just over 59% of the required number of automatons have been scrapped, while 77.6% of the required number of Terminids have been exterminated. Unfortunately, time is running short, and at this rate, we will fail the major order. Although it appears we will successfully harvest the required amount of E710, we still need to eliminate over 400 million automatons in just over a day. Although this is definitely not impossible, we are in dire need of reinforcements. We are currently at LibCon 2 and need all the help we can get. Over the next 30 hours, all leave is cancelled. Helldivers, board your super destroyers and take out as many bots as you possibly can. The future of managed democracy depends on it. To date, over 460,720,000 missions have been completed by the Helldivers. More than 3,242,000,000 heroes of democracy have given their lives for the Federation. Over 102,514,000,000 Terminids lie dead, as well as more than 41,194,000,000 automatons and in excess of 19,131,000,000 Illuminate. Helldivers, the horrors of the universe persist, but so do we. Seeing things? High Command assures Galactic Map is functioning perfectly. Super Earth forces have always prided themselves on their keen eyes and unwavering focus, but recent reports suggest that some Helldivers may be experiencing an unexpected wave of ocular discrepancies. In the last 24 hours, a number of personnel inaccurately reported errors with their galactic maps, specifically regarding major order progress and celestial body coordinates. After rigorous internal verification, High Command has assured that no malfunctions exist within Super Earth's flawless navigation systems. As a precaution, affected personnel have been sent for mandatory ocular function examinations to ensure peak battlefield performance. Investigations are ongoing to determine the cause of this widespread visual misinterpretation. High Command urges all Helldivers to trust in the integrity of their equipment and report any persistent discrepancies to the nearest Ministry of Health officer. In the meantime, all personnel should proceed with normal operating procedures, and maybe blink a few times before questioning the map. Super Earth needs you. The fight for freedom demands more Helldivers, and yes, we'll even take pets. With the war raging on all fronts, High Command has identified a critical shortage of active Helldivers. The automatons continue their relentless push. The Terminids refuse to be exterminated, and the Illuminate lurk in the shadows, scheming against democracy. Every deployment counts. Every bullet fired is a step toward victory, and every Helldiver, regardless of species, is a valued asset in the fight for managed democracy. While Super Earth has yet to officially deploy feline recruits, High Command remains open-minded. After all, if a cat is willing to pick up a liberator and purge tyranny, who are we to deny them their patriotic duty? Enlist today, bring a friend, and help secure liberty for all. Super Earth salutes democratic question of the day, raising the next generation of Helldivers. Helldivers, if you were granted a mandatory CO1 permit, as is your duty, and had to raise the next generation of democracy-spreading warriors, what's the first lesson you would teach them? The community has spoken, and their wisdom is as sharp as a freshly reloaded liberator. Here are some of the best responses from our fellow patriots. T. Nickguy person writes, "Obviously, I teach them how to properly prepare super samples. A vital skill. Science is democracy's greatest weapon, right after orbital bombardment." Ice Lord Cryo writes, "Never question Super Earth, for it always knows what's best for you. A truly model citizen. Blind faith in managed democracy is the only way forward." Bad Cramps Gramps 1890 writes, "How to clean, take part, and reassemble the standard issue Liberator, followed by shooting lessons." This is how you raise a Helldiver. First they learn to clean it, then they learn to use it, then they learn to distribute freedom. McLatchett writes, "The history of both the First Galactic War and our current one, so they can be both inspired by our valiant past victories and be prepared for democracy's glorious future victories." Education is the backbone of any functioning society, especially when that education is strictly regulated and state-approved. Spartan Slayer writes, "Teach them how to properly salute the flag of Super Earth, of course. An absolutely mandatory skill. Improper saluting leads to improper thinking. Improper thinking leads to, well, we all know where that leads." Crimson Razor C6759 writes, "How to maintain a Liberator, followed by cape patching. True Helldiver parenting. A well-maintained gun and a well-maintained cape are the mark of a true patriot. The future of Super Earth is in good hands, Helldivers. What would your first lesson be? Sound off in the comments below." Should High Command reconsider 5-person fire teams? The case for expanding the ranks. Helldivers, war is ever-changing, and so too must our tactics evolve. Early reports indicate that High Command once considered approving 5-person fire teams before settling on the battle-tested democracy-dealing squads of 4. But with the ongoing escalation of the Galactic War, the time may have come to revisit the idea of expanding our forces. Why 5-person squads could strengthen Super Earth's war machine. Bigger maps, more enemies, and more firepower. If the battlefields expand and enemy forces swell in number, an additional Helldiver could be the key to maintaining order. A tactical evolution. High Command has never shied away from shaking up battlefield strategy, and if the Illuminate invasion proved anything, it's that adaptability is our greatest weapon. Special Operations Squads. Not every mission requires overwhelming force, but certain large-scale operations, like the Meridia campaign, could justify deploying Elite 5-diver strike teams for extreme objectives. However, we must also ask, is Super Earth ready to rewrite the rules of war? With drop pods designed for 4 and decades of tactical doctrine built around fire teams of that size, the transition would require careful consideration. Perhaps the solution lies in specialized mission types, where an extra Helldiver is authorized only for high-risk, high-reward operations. A 5th warrior could signify that the mission is so dire, so pivotal, that 4 simply isn't enough. Is it time to expand the ranks? High Command has yet to issue a final decision, but if history has taught us anything, Super Earth thrives on innovation. Weak grip, weak resolve. Helldivers urged to train harder instead of requesting crutches. A Helldiver recently proposed a new booster, Strong Grip, designed to prevent stratagem beacons from being dropped when knocked down or ragdolled. While an interesting idea, High Command reminds all personnel that a true Helldiver's grip should be as unyielding as their commitment to manage democracy. Perhaps instead of relying on technological assistance, Helldivers should spend more time training their grip strength. Dead hangs, farmers' carries, and battlefield conditioning are the true path to democracy, not hand-holding, or, in this case, never letting go. Stand firm, grip harder, and remember, liberty doesn't slip through the fingers of the strong. Super Earth Art of War. Know thyself. If you know the enemy and know your stratagem inputs by muscle memory, you need not fear the result of 100 missions. Helldivers. Victory does not belong to the strongest. It belongs to the most prepared. The enemies of Super Earth are relentless, but so are we. Know the bugs. Expect them to swarm. Expect them to overwhelm. Drop napalm. Place EATs, and never ever run out of grenades. Know the clankers. They are machines, calculating, cold, but vulnerable to explosions, EMPs, and overwhelming firepower. Know the squids. They may have incredible psionic powers, but with enough ordnance and mastery of the effective use of vehicles in the field, you can prevail. And finally, know yourself. When the battlefield turns chaotic, your ability to call down stratagems under pressure will decide if your squad survives, or if your remains decorate the surface of a hostile world. A Helldiver who masters both enemy tactics and their own loadout is a Helldiver who never truly dies, only redeploys. For preparation, for precision, for Super Earth and democracy.